Okay then. Here we are at last. I'll be doing the Booktube Newbie tag like every Booktube Newbie. So, very basic, very not so unique, but I feel like it's a nice introduction still, even though it's like what, from 2014 or something? I feel like it's still a nice introduction to me and my future channel. So I have the questions right here on my laptop because I am recording on my phone. How about we get right into that, right? Okay, question 1. Should I introduce myself first? This is going so smooth already. Okay, great. Well, my name's Yael. I'm 19 and I love to read. Obviously, like that's something y'all didn't know. Anyway, let me just get right into it and stop wasting y'all's time. The first question is, why did you start this channel? Well, I started this channel because I clearly have an obsession with reading, and I would just like to share that with people. I feel like there's a lack of diversity on Booktube as far as people of color. I don't know, I just feel like it's fun to have some, throw some different people in there from different backgrounds. And I also don't know a lot of Dutch booktubers, or well, not Dutch, just the booktubers that live in the Netherlands, because I won't be speaking Dutch. I don't like the language. I don't like the language. So yes, that is why I started this channel. I would just like to share my love for books with everyone and have that sense of community, because I don't know a lot of people that read, like IRL. I just don't know a lot of people that read, so it would be fun to have that like sense of community, be a part of something that I love with, and like sharing that with more people, What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? I think that I don't know. I find this a very hard question. I've thought about this for a little bit and I honestly don't know, which might make me sound so boring, but I feel like it's so hard. I've always, how people used to ask you like, describe yourself in 3 words, or what are your 3 best attributes? I would always struggle so hard with those questions because to come up with that is very mentally challenging for me. So honestly, I don't know. I guess we'll figure out as we go along. I hope I'm fun at least. What are you most excited for about this new channel? I have to say, I'm definitely most excited about the community aspect, like I mentioned earlier. Just finding people that share that love for books and just having like those conversations, just indulging myself in reading and being able to share that with everyone is going to be so awesome. So that's honestly what I'm most excited for. And I'm also excited to just, I don't know, like create a fun platform and just have fun with it, nothing too serious, so that, I can make other people happy with something that makes me happy. Why do you love reading? Well, as I think half of the people, or maybe even everyone, has said to this question, the escapism of it all. I just love to, get away from regular life, or when it's stressful or you're not feeling good, you can just grab a book, travel to a different world. I'm not allowed to curse, I forgot. Travel to a whole different world. A whole new world. Okay, I'm sorry guys. And just live there for a while. And just be someone else, just being someone completely different. And I also just love reading because I just think it's fun. Like the stories, it genuinely makes me so excited when I'm reading a good book, and it just grasps me, I'm unable, those books where you just start reading and you're unable to put it down, and you either read it in one giant, like one long slur, or like you just pick it up every time you have a little bit of free time. You just pick it up, start reading, even if it's just a few pages, but you're like constantly thinking about it and you're always there, and it's just like so exciting for me. It's like I'm one of those people that when I read, if I'm not in public, I will literally like yell at my book, yell at the characters, just all of that stuff, like very intense and very extra, but I'm genuinely so excited when I read a good book. What book or series got you into reading? Oh my god, so actually I have it right here. Shatter Me. Oh my god. The emotions are already coming flooding back to me. This series, guys, I feel like a lot of people have read this, but if you haven't read this and you're into like dystopian, kind of like soft magic-esque, this is it. This is like, not magic, I meant fantasy, I'm sorry. This is like the series. I read this, I think when I was 14, I read Shatter Me, and it was when I was in a very bad place, like mentally, and my parents were getting a divorce, and there was a lot of stuff happening in my life, and it just made me forget about all that stuff, and it genuinely made me so happy to read that. And after that, I've never stopped reading. I've just continued on, and now I have an obsession. So whether that's good or not, it's up for debate, but I feel like it is. So Shatter Me series definitely got me into reading. Also, The Selection is one I read after that since I was very young. I still think The Selection is awesome. Yeah, those two series are like that. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? What questions would I ask them? I think I'd ask if they wanted to be friends with me. Not to be like kind of weird or like stalkerish, but they all seem like such nice people, and I just want to be friends with them. Like honestly, that's all I would ask. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I think consistency. I'm not a very consistent person. I'm very I do everything sporadically and when I feel like it. Although I must say, I don't know if that will be the case with this channel, because it is obviously something that I find very fun, right? So maybe I won't have that problem at all, but I might upload irregularly. Also, I think reading sometimes, because I feel like obviously if you have a booktube channel, you have to read books. But I feel like sometimes life gets a bit busy, or I'm just in a, you know when you're in like a reading slump and you honestly just don't feel like reading, or you just can't read anything. You just can't like keep your mind on a book, you're not focused, it's really hard, and you just end up not reading for like a month or something. Like what kind of videos would I make then if I'm not reading? You get what I'm saying? So I feel like those two would be the hardest things to like overcome. But I think that also would challenge me in my creativity. Like for example, when I can't read, when I'm in a reading slump, to make like book related content that isn't necessarily reading, you know? So that will make me more creative, and which would then like improve my channel, I think. So two sides to a coin. When did you start reading? Well, I mean, I think I've been reading my whole life, honestly. I started when I was like really young, like a few books. My favorite author was Annie M. G. Schmidt. She's a Dutch author. And she made me want to be a writer. Like I wanted to be a writer so bad. And then I became like a semi-pro athlete, and I just stopped reading. It was just school and practice and school and practice and school and practice, and I just didn't read for a pretty long time. So when I was 14, I read the Shatter Me series, like I mentioned, and then it was just, I would read every now and then, but I think I like avidly started reading when I was like 16. So yeah, 16-ish, depending on how you calculate it. Where do you read? Everywhere. Everywhere. I read in my bed. I read in this chair. This is actually my reading corner. As you can tell, my bookshelf is right here. This is where I like to sit, you know, read my books, turn on my light, which is now off. It's not connected. Blooper number 1, guys. So I read here. Most of the time, I read in the train. I read like everywhere that has a place for me to sit. I read in cafes. Sometimes I like reading in cafes more. It gives me that like dark academia kind of vibe, you know, like where you just go to a cafe and you order a cup of coffee and you read your favorite old English literature and you just sit there for like hours. But I feel like this is the most comfortable place, the place I sit most. When it's raining, I actually have a skylight, so when it's raining, you can hear the rain like drizzle onto the roof, and it's so So amazing. Honestly, chef's kiss. So yeah, that. And what kind of books do you like to read? Last question. Um, Everything except historical fiction is just not my thing. I have a hard time getting into that. And we also high fantasy, like kind of hard for me to get into because it's just like a little too far off from the real world for me. There are some high fantasy books that I really enjoy, but generally speaking, not a fan of high fantasy and not a fan of historical fiction. Also, don't read nonfiction hardly. Like I don't know if if it's in frame, but there's like a tiny, a tiny nonfiction part of my shelf which hardly been touched. Honestly, it's like I'm interested in nonfiction topics, right? But then it's just not as fun for me to read. When I read nonfiction, it feels like homework, versus when I read fiction, it feels like leisure. You know, so that I mostly read dystopian. I read a lot of young adult. Yes, those were all the questions. I felt like we breezed through this. I don't know how long I've been sitting here, and I hope this video isn't gonna be like ages because it feels really short. But yes, so I'm new. Like I said, I'm Yael, 19 years old, live in the Netherlands, and I love reading. To give you a little bit of a preview of what I'll be doing, I think I'll definitely start as like kind of a standard booktuber, you know, TBRs, like monthly wrap-ups and stuff like that. But also I think I want to do some more creative stuff, which I haven't really wrapped my mind around, but I just wanted to sit down and record this video because I was feeling really good today. And I thought, yes, today's the day. You're just going to do it. You're going to start the channel. And here we are. So I hope whatever further content or future content, I should say, whatever future content I create, I hope it's fun and I hope y'all enjoy. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, it was very basic, but if you liked it, drop a like down below. If you are already kind of intrigued by me, which I doubt because I haven't shown you that much, but then I'd like you to drop a comment down below what kind of videos you'd like to see, and I'll get on that. I'll take all of the ideas into consideration, put it in my idea box, and we'll get it off the ground. I think I'll be already recording like a second video today or tomorrow because I have my October TBR and I want to share it. So I hope you enjoyed this video once again, and yeah, see you in the next one. I hope you stick around. Bye guys. Oh man, we're done. It's done.